After what feels like an eternity, we are finally back in Gyr Abania and meet with our comrades in Baelzar's war. They are eager to hear tales of what occurred in the far east. Alize explains everything to them. After 25 years, Doma is free. The victory in Doma is causing the Imperials to second-guess their decisions and are now unwilling to leave locations undefended. This gives us the opportunity to seize the initiative. Because they won't leave even the smallest places unguarded, we can choose to commit to a swift advance, going for the big prizes instead of the small. Seeing as this is the most perfect opportune moment to do so, the campaign for Ala Mhigan liberation begins now. Our first objective is to capture Castrum Velodina. With the bridge under our control, the whole of the fringes will be ours, allowing us to push east towards the peaks. This operation will be now known as Rhalgar's Beacon. As Rhalgar's star once guided their ancestors to these lands, we shall guide the people once more. The plan is to bait the main garrison away from Castrum Velodina with a group headed by Rhalgar, but this is to be a feint as we send our true forces to fight on the bridge behind them. But this battle is also to be a feint, as our real objective is to buy enough time for Menago to fly above the Castrum and raise our flag instead of theirs. We wait just outside of Castrum Velodina, awaiting orders to start our attack. All of this waiting is making us restless. It's hard to sit and wait, knowing what's to come. Eventually, Arenvald gives the go-ahead. Now we can finally start Operation Rhalgar's Beacon. Inside Castrum Velodina, we defeat every Imperial we come across. Even Fordola is here, but she is no match for our combined strength. We hear the sound of a horn from the sky above. Looking heavensward, we see the colors of Ala Mhigan liberation swaying in the bright blue sky above. Menago has managed to raise the flag atop Castrum Velodina. The rest of the Imperials are fleeing the scene. We let them go, for we have done what we needed to do. The bridge is ours, for Ala Mhigan. Elsewhere, our forces are battling against the Second Imperial group, but they are losing badly. Until Rhalgar slays some Imperials, boosting the team's morale. They see the Ala Mhigan liberation flag atop Castrum Velodina. Victory is ours. The Empire retreats. Fordola takes one of the snakes with her to find out why they betrayed her. This was our first victory, but there are many more to come. We should be continuing to the peaks, but Menago has left to check on the condition of her home. We cannot let her go alone, just in case she runs into any leftover Imperials. Therefore, we take a slight detour to the Peerless Stones. Her people fare well, but not much better than the Ananta. They sent an emissary to speak with us. Her name is Vajra, and she will tell us why she came here. It all started with the Imperials and the Quelana, one of the strongest Ananta tribes. They swore fealty to the Empire because they wanted to remain within the borders. They yielded to Garlemald long ago, but when Fordola was appointed the new commander, the Quelana were forced to yield a hostage, even though they were on the same side. The reason as to why they did this is because they would have been trapped if she was attacked from the west by the Liberation, and from the east the Quelana decided to turn their coats. Therefore she took a hostage, a quite important one, the daughter of the Broodmother, Anamika. She waited for her daughter to be returned to her, then she knew the outcome of our battle and confronted the fleeing warriors, demanding her daughter to be returned. Instead, Fordola pulled a blade on Anamika, demanding the Quelana move, but they did not yield. Out of fear, one of the skulls cut down Anamika. There was nothing that could be done to save her life. In her despair, she beseeched her gods, asking for her daughter to be returned to life. In doing so, she summoned a primal, Sri Lakshmi. The Imperials fled upon seeing the goddess, leaving these lands to the Ananta. Now the Quelana forces all the Ananta to pay respects to Sri Lakshmi, which is where we come in. She wants to use the Icon Slayer to slay Lakshmi and put an end to the despair the Broodmother is feeling. As we have agreed to help the Vira, we will take a little detour to slay Sri Lakshmi. We first need to figure out how we're going to do it. Vajra tells us that there is a nearby aetheryte which will move us directly into the heart of the Jananchat. Inside, we see Sri Lakshmi with her devoted followers. The brood mother Shanti asks, why does her daughter Anamika slumber still? Though her flesh has been restored, the flame that flickered within is lost. Her soul has been scattered to the four winds. Alizé cannot stand by any longer as another tragedy occurs and rushes out to confront Lakshmi and the Quelana. Has she gone mad? She is not gifted with the echo like us. A primal can temper her with ease. We have come to save them from more bloodshed. We understand how she feels. We are reminded of Gabu, the young kobold who we could not save. To embrace a primal is to condemn yourself to an endless cycle of misery. Primals tempt you with visions of grandeur and give you things that leave you wanting. Her daughter may be alive, but she is an empty husk of what she used to be. Do not let this shade ruin the memory you have of her. The rest of us come out of hiding, and Lise tries to plead with them too. Lakshmi tells them to leave this ugly reality, and how it's better to dwell within her dreams. She interrupts our words and wants to invite us to a dream. It's here she tries to temper the rest of the scions, though luckily the initial blast missed. She charges up a second wave which would have for sure tempered the twins, but we activate a barrier with our echo to keep the tempering away from them. Even if we thought it was possible to leave a recluse primal alive, it does not seem wise to. She is aggressive and even tried to temper us. Therefore, its existence cannot be permitted any longer. We faced Lakshmi and put an end to her dream, setting the Quelana free. Just like every other tribe we have faced before, the Quelana was hiding away crystals, just in case they needed to summon their god, but now she is no more. Shanti confronts us after the battle, telling us that we slew their hope, their salvation. Even if Lise tries to convince them that this is how everyone feels, weak and defenseless, they just ignore her words. They only wish to live in peace, and if this is the price they must pay, then so be it. There is nothing we can say to convince her, but one day we hope she can look back and realize that we only ever wanted the same thing. Let's go. Alphino and Alizé are waiting for us. In the royal palace of Alamigo, Fordola has to report her failure to Xenos. She is being mocked by the other leaders, who knew all along she was just another beast like the rest of her kind. The Empire's butcher fears for her own life because she knows what Xenos does to those who fails. She has achieved nothing. If she was stronger, she could have achieved something in this battle. She lost to the Resistance and forced the Ananta to summon an icon. But what does she truly want? Power. Power to make all of those who look down on her pay. What if she was given that power? Xenos will give her a chance to transcend her mortal limits. Now that our detour is over, we return to the Peering Stones and meet with Manago. Together we make way for the peaks.
I remember how they laughed. Alliance and Resistance soldiers, eager for battle, trading jokes as we marched east towards the peaks. Beyond this last line of defences lay the locks and the city. Breaching it would be no small feat. But we beat the Imperials back, just like that, and we liberated a village. The first of many.
Deep within an Imperial research facility, we see Kryl being stored into a test tube whilst Fordola lies on the table above her. They have performed some sort of experiment on her. What exactly has happened to her? The chief researcher Aulus Malacina begins to explain. Garleans are intellectually and physiologically superior in all respects, but they do not have the ability to manipulate aether. For decades they were oppressed and forced to seek shelter in Ilzabad. Ilzabad was full of ceruleum, which was used to power Magitech technology which compensates for their lack of aether manipulation. Magitech turned their nation into an empire. But what Aulus wanted was not a device to be used instead of magic. He figured out that he could edit Garlean DNA, he could make them empowered and able to wield magic. He was kicked out of the court by the other leaders, but Lord Xenos decided to support his research. Even though she isn't a Garlean, it should greatly improve her abilities. Alagiri was recently occupied by the Resistance, and they moved to attack Specula Imperatoris. This would be an ideal place to test her performance. With Alagiri claimed, it is time we move on to assaulting Specula Imperatoris. Specula Imperatoris was originally a watchtower created by the Garleans after the victory in Alamigo, to watch over all the lands at all time. Eventually it became a communication tower for the Garleans. We choose to overthrow it now, as it is one of Garlean's strongest strongholds in Alamigo. We must also be wary of Castrum Abania, as a gigantic cannon sits atop it. Specula Imperatoris is in firing range. A battle is happening between the Imperials and the Eorzean Alliance backed by the Resistance. The Scions are not part of it, as we are dealing with any Imperial troops being sent to bolster their forces. We seem to be winning the battle outside, which is good, but not the important part. Conrad is attempting to reason with the skulls inside the tower. No matter how fruitless it may be, he would rather try and take it peacefully instead. Nevertheless, the battle still rages on. In Castrum Abania, Fordola arrives to receive a report. The damage is bad, and they are in dire need of reinforcements. Reinforcements are ready to depart, but Fordola tells them to stand down. Even though she'd love with all of her heart to lead a charge and fight on the battlefield, she can't. Lord Xenos said no reinforcements. He wants to use the main cannon on Specula Imperatoris, even if it will cause death and destruction for both sides. If he doesn't agree with her, he can ask Lord Xenos himself. Ready the cannon to fire. Wars are won on the backs of the dead, theirs and ours. We must remain firm and resolute and always do our duty. Give the order. The firing sequence is initiated. Fordola prays for her friends, Ansfrid, Hrudroff, Emmeline, for their future. Target Specula Imperatoris. A cannon of gigantic size turns its sights towards Specula Imperatoris. It unfolds and aims right for the main tower. A blast is fired which shakes the very foundations of Castrum Abania. It hits the main tower directly. It starts to crack and crumble. Rawban calls for everyone to retreat. Small pieces of debris fall, followed by larger pieces. They land on unsuspecting victims below, crushing and killing them instantly. Both the Imperials and the Alliance start to panic, running in different directions. We spot the tower collapsing and make haste towards it, to see if we can help any survivors and to see if Alize can find her brother. We hear Lys calling out to Conrad, so we rush over to see the situation for ourselves. Conrad has been badly injured in this battle, if you can even call it that. Alphino recounts what happened. Conrad had actually managed to convince the skulls to surrender until a loud bang was heard, which caused the tower to shake. His condition is stable for now. He regains consciousness, but he cannot see. I guess this is it. Time's up. Lys is in disbelief. There's nothing to worry about. He'll be up and about in no time. He'll recover, and together they will bring freedom to Alamigo. But Conrad isn't a fool. He knows how dire his current condition is. He asks that Lys lead the resistance in his stead. Lys has it in her, not because she is Yda's sister or Curtis's daughter, but because she is Lys, and that's all she ever needed to be. Everything we've built, everyone we've brought together, He knows that she will show them the way. Lead them to victory. To freedom. I will, Conrad. I will. With those last words, Conrad draws his last breath, but not without a smile on his face, knowing that he can go freely, that Lys will carry on his legacy. There is chaos in Castrum Abania. The people are running around in a panicked state, preparing to fire a second round. Atop the cannon is Astinian. He asks for Nidhogg's aid and uses his might to destroy the Cerulean pipeline. With it destroyed, the cannon cannot fire again. The Imperials must prepare. The savages are coming. We need to assault Castrum Abania, but to do so whilst the cannon still exists would be idiotic. But the real question is, why didn't they fire it again? Maybe the cannon malfunctioned. We are sent with Lys to see if the cannon is still functional. She knows of a vantage spot named Nunkrep's Hope. It is an ark which was created to save others from a flood that occurred in the 6th Umbral era. At the peak of Nunkrep's Hope, we see a cannon up in smoke. No wonder they didn't fire at us again. They couldn't. This is our chance to take Castrum Abania, to avenge Conrad and all the others who were mercilessly killed in Specula Imperatoris, be it friend or foe. A plan is put forth to capture Castrum Abania. Two groups will be creating multiple diversions within Castrum Abania. These diversions should be enough distraction to allow Lys and her unit to slip into the cannon's control room. We will seize control of the cannon's control center. Then, we will signal for the Allied forces to advance. We fight through the weapons research and development section of Castrum Abania. We can only imagine what kind of enemies we'll have to battle here. Alphino and Alize regroups with us after we battle with the monstrosity. They tell us that we will join up with Lys as they advance to the control center. We collide with her just outside of the control room door. It is here that Fordola awaits us. Was she the one who fired the cannon at us? The battle was over. The Skulls and the Imperials had already surrendered. She massacred her own comrades for no reason. She gave the order to fire the cannon. Ansfrid, Krudroff, Emmeline, they were all good soldiers, people she grew up with and trained with. She knew exactly what she was doing. They died so that Alamegans could live free. They joined the Imperials, hoping that one day they would accept them. But it requires payment. Payment in blood. Doing services for them does grant them citizenship, but that isn't enough. You have to do more, and more for them until you become equal. That's just how it is. You buy your freedom with blood. Her words aren't inherently wrong. We are pushing for freedom, and having to pay the price of blood. But she cannot take the high road on this. It was a massacre. She killed the friends who trusted her. Murderer. Butcher. Traitor. In the heat of the moment, Lys rushes towards Fordola and tries to land a hit on her, but she dodges out of the way with ease. With the enhancements given to Fordola, she is now way too strong, almost as strong as Xenos. Not even the combination of Lys and Alize's attacks can land a hit on her. She lands a cut on Alize, which knocks her off of her feet, as blood spurts from her mouth. Alphino rushes towards Alize and hastily heals her wounds. Even with Fordola's enhancements, she is outnumbered. Instead, she throws a smoke bomb and jumps out the nearby window, landing on a Magitech vehicle just below. Before she leaves, she tells us that Xenos has invited us to join him on a royal hunt. It will be hosted at the palace. We are free to bring our horde. All are welcome. Maybe the outcome wasn't exactly how we planned, but we did achieve our intended goal. We have secured Castrum Abania, and the cannon has been rendered unusable. For the first time in a while, we can have a little break. There will be some time until we are able to fully occupy the Castrum. Lys is starting to realize all of the responsibilities she has been given by Conrad, and it is starting to weigh on her. To help, Rhalgar invites both Lys and us to Radiata. It is here that we see Rhalgar's home. It is a small modest home surrounded by a barren wasteland, unable to grow crops. It's why they traded their crops for swords. They became military men who watched the borders of the Empire. There were only minor skirmishes at first, until one day they hit them. Hard. Rhalgar was injured and sent home. His words trigger our echo. We are in Rawban's past. In the very same spot we are stood now are a group of rebels. There is a man known as Curtis Hext. He is the father of Yida and Lys. He is ranting about Mad King Theodoric, trying to rile up the people to fight against him, to put his reign of terror to an end. He paints liberty or death on the wall. If this is your creed, then raise your voices. We will tear Theodoric from the throne and claim our freedom. The people agree with his words. Among the crowd is a young Ilberd and a young Rawban. Curtis speaks to them both. Liberty or death? What do you think those words mean? To be prepared to die to obtain true liberty. He is not wrong, but liberty shouldn't be the end goal. Liberty gives you the chance to build something better, stronger, and a more prosperous home for your people. It is not quick or easy work, and it is never truly finished, but if you neglect it, then sooner or later you'll look up and find you've traded one tyrant for another. Dying is easy, living is harder. The vision ends here. It seems that they continued their conversation whilst we were in our vision. Rawban asked that Lys swear by her father's creed, in front of her comrades and gods. She knows those words. Her father taught her those words. It's something that you would hope for in a war. She swears it to us, here and now. She will fight until the end, be it liberty or be it death. Lys has found new purpose in what she does. Her conversation with us has boosted her morale, and she is ready to tackle anything the Empire can throw at us. She is prepared for the final battle to come. She has a proposal for us. She wants us to return to Rhalgar's Reach. They have a better infirmary there to treat Alizé with. It would be the best place to take her, bar moving to Gridania. We go to Rhalgar's Reach, and whilst Alphinaud deals with Alizé, Lys wants us to wait just outside the infirmary. She won't be a moment. Just as she said, we await her outside. We hear the sounds of approaching footsteps and turn to see Lys, but her outfit is changed. She is wearing an elegant scarlet dress, donned with golden ornaments around her arms and torso. It looks like it was made for someone of noble birth. She apologizes for the wait. Well, what do we think of her new look? It may be a bit old-fashioned, but Yida would wear it whenever she could. Not that she wants to be Yida again, it's just that this is the final battle for Ala Mhigo's freedom. She should be a part of it. It suits her. That's nice of us to say, but it's also a bit embarrassing. The reason she asked us here is because she wants to sneak in a warm-up before the final battle. There is a place she knows where monks used to spar as part of their training. Care to join me? Even though she's wearing a different outfit, it's still the same Lys. We agree to the match. She looks towards the statue of Rhalgar, which is where we will be sparring. We are atop the statue of Rhalgar, overlooking the majestic mountains of Ala Mhigo. Lys and the Warrior of Light are looking face to face and are waiting for the sun to rise. The moment it does, we both charge towards each other.